It's almost like this media that I've trusted for years and years and years, the left-wing media, the majority of the mainstream media, it's like all of a sudden they're out to get my candidate. The establishment, and particularly the establishment left that the Democratic Party is the face of, are tremendous at controlling the narrative. Tremendous. And there's two reasons for that. One, because all of the institutions that really are geared towards shaping our narrative are controlled by that establishment left. So the entertainment industry, academia, social media, the majority of the sort of legacy media. By that I mean the areas that have, or the outlets that have traditionally steered the direction, like the New York Times, the Washington Post, the network television news channels, ABC, CBS. Then you have CNN, MSNBC. Most of the time, even places like Fox or even most talk radio that's conservative are responding to what the narrative of the day is that's crafted by those other people. So that's the first reason. The other reason is because they're very disciplined in their message, and there are a lot of people on our side that are interested in reciprocation. So we treat others as we would like to be treated. So when we hear a story that's important to the left, we're willing to talk about it. That's why I've spent so much time lately talking about January 6th. They don't reciprocate. They don't give a shit. You'll find the odd person here or there, but they don't care. When Russiagate was going on, Russia, as soon as we found out that it was a crock of shit, that's a long time ago. Time to move on. They're very good at it. And so I'm not shocked that what would be the biggest story in the world, the assassination attempt of a former president and the frontrunner for president of the next election, it's gone within a month. Within a month, it's gone. Not only that, they took one of the most unpopular VPs in modern history, who hasn't sat down for one off-the-cuff interview. Not one. Doesn't even have, unless they put it up today or maybe yesterday, I didn't check, doesn't even have policy positions on their website. In fact, I heard a story that Kamala Harris today, the press poll's supposed to follow around the candidates, and she ditched them to go speak at Howard University. And they just astroturfed. Kamala Harris is great. And probably will do it to victory. Not sitting down for press conferences, not taking questions from the press. They put her on Time magazine. And I don't know if it's true because I'm at work and I was just reading a little. It seems like she then declined an interview with Time magazine, even though she's on the cover. It's when you see how effective the propaganda is, it's amazing. I saw today, I think it was Wick retweeted some guy's article. I forget what it was from, the New Yorker or something, and said, actually, the media's bias for Trump and against Kamala Harris. That's their take. And Wick was like, yeah, I've been saying that. Yep. You want to know why? I thumbed through the article. Want to know why? Because this is what the author said. Because Donald Trump has broken so many norms, and he's such a threat to democracy, that the media should just be completely adversarial to him all the time and never give him any coverage except hating him. And so the fact that, like, they let him do that debate on CNN, well, that's them being unfair for Trump. That's their argument. And Democrats eat that shit up. Yeah, absolutely. Fairness to them would be that Trump's never allowed on any media whatsoever. He should be kicked off X. He shouldn't be allowed to be on Rumble. He shouldn't be allowed to get interviewed by Elon Musk, ABC, CNN. They shouldn't be allowed to talk about him or have him on. Fox News shouldn't have him on. That's the Democrats in general. That's the average Democrat voter. That's how they feel. We can't have an equal playing field. We can't. That's not fair. That's why they're coming out. I did a little video you can watch on YouTube today, just a little short, 2-minute. That's why so many outlets came out and so many Democrats were outraged. Oh my goodness. Trump interview. Elon Musk, you can't do that. That's ridiculous. It wasn't even an interview. Elon Musk supports Trump. That's absurd. You can't have interviews with the interviewer that actually supports the politician they're interviewing. Yeah, that's the entirety of our mainstream media, except it's always Democrats. So the Trump assassination story out of the news. Imagine if it was an attempt on Biden's life or Kamala Harris's. You would know everything in the entire social media and life of the would-be assassin. You'd know it all by now. You'd have known it within 24 hours. Particularly if they were a Trump supporter or if they were a right-winger. You'd know it all. And I'm tired of pretending that's not the case. I'm tired of when we have a trans shooter in Nashville, it's like, well, we can't release the manifesto. We can't. We can't do that. No. But oh boy, when it's a right-wing shooter, law enforcement will release all those details very quickly. Where's the media? Have you seen any interviews? Any attempted interviews in the past 3 weeks with people that knew this shooter, his family? Are there people trying to talk to his family? There's almost nothing. You'll hear the occasional, we got some audio from the Butler police that's coming just from a handful of right-wing outlets. It's like they're not interested. Because they're not. Because they think the media's job, it's the same thing. And again, I go back to, I hate to talk about this person again, but Wick TV. For those of you who don't know Wick's this dude. He is a left-winger. He's sort of I think he's sort of a normal guy. He seems like a likable guy. I don't think he's necessarily a fantastic political mind, but that's okay. I don't know that I'm a fantastic political mind. I'm a regular fucking guy. So I happen to be pretty good at debate, happen to have an interest in politics, but by no means do I think I'm some super genius or I'm not super well-read. Or when Wick was he's not thinking strategically like some of the more seasoned political people. So he was I'm ride or die with Biden. That was Wick. And there were a lot of people like him. And they started to see through the veil, just for a moment, with the media. They started to see through it. They were like, wait a minute, why is the media all on board with trying to force Biden out now? That's not right. Shouldn't they just be reporting the news? Now, the irony was, a lot of what they were reporting was the news. But they were certainly going out of their way to make news and not just report news. But what Wick and the people like him, the riding with Biden people, they're almost there. They can almost see it. They're like, wait a minute. It's almost like this media that I've trusted for years and years and years, the left-wing media, the majority of the mainstream media. It's like all of a sudden they're out to get my candidate. That's not right. That's not the role of the media. They're supposed to try to be impartial. But what they couldn't see was they're not doing that because they hate Biden. They're not doing that to help Trump. They're doing it to harm Trump. Because they saw the writing on the wall that Biden was an albatross around their neck of their goal. And their goal is entrenching the institutional and establishment power. And the most immediate factor to that is stopping any potential outsider like Donald Trump. And so as soon as the media got their goal of getting Biden out, now Biden's a great guy. It's historic. What he did was great. And Kamala Harris is a super cool brat and the best candidate ever. And now all of a sudden those riding with Biden people, they saw it for half a day and now they're like, yay! Yeah, the media's back to being impartial again. So they buried the Trump assassination story. They don't give a shit. They're incurious. Oh, yeah, it looks like he was registered Republican. That's it. End of story. Moving on. If this was an attempt on Kamala Harris or Joe Biden, the media would not only would law enforcement have already given you all the details about the would-be assassin, the media would be going nuts trying to interview anyone that had any connection to him. They would be grilling the Secret Service. There would be leaks from members of the Secret Service that were on that detail with their names, and if they ever donated to any Republican or had any messages that seemed to be pro-Trump or pro-Republican, they would be accusing those people of, oh my God, that they're secretly Trump supporters that allow. That's what it would be. It would be non-stop. The media covered the Paul Pelosi story, trying to blame Republican rhetoric on what happened there, far longer than the assassination attempt on Trump, that literally resulted in one person dying. Meanwhile, every day, if you're following, more and more crazy shit comes out about the assassination attempt. Sloped roof. They couldn't be on the roof where the shooting occurred because it was sloped. But wait a minute, the roof they were on was even more sloped. Well, we didn't see him. There was no seeing him until he was firing the shot. But wait a minute, one of the people that was shot, the video came out from him where you could clearly see from that guy's video. And he's at ground level. You could see the guy crawling on the roof with the gun. Now audio comes out of the local Butler police in real time. Their body cam saying, Janice, thank you so much for the $10. I really appreciate it. They're saying, we effing told the Secret Service to have people there. There's accusations that there were people in the building. We now know that law enforcement, there were people filming for minutes, this guy shouting to law enforcement. Secret Service didn't employ drones. They knew for at least 40 minutes that there was a guy with a rangefinder that was suspicious but didn't do anything. We're told they didn't record their interactions, like always, when it comes to these federal agencies when there's an accusation of wrongdoing. Again, one of the most nonsensical things that I don't understand how anyone can accept this. When agencies like the FBI interview people, they don't record it. They don't. Instead, we have to rely on the agents that do the interviews' written word, called a 302. So, for example, when they interviewed Mike Flynn, we don't have a video recording of it or an audio recording. All we have is the two agents that was there, their word. Story's just going away. Sure, you'll hear details after the election. It's one of the things they're fantastic at. The Hunter Biden laptop story. Yeah, it's all bullshit. Russian disinformation, censor people talking to, the election's over. Yeah, maybe there was something to that. How about this one? No one talks about this, and I understand a lot of people were pissed off about the vaccines and everything. You remember when the big narrative from the Biden team in 2020 was, you could tune on your TV. Trump was like, we're going to get vaccines. We're going to have big, beautiful vaccines. They're going to come out in time. They'll be great. You'll love them. And all the experts and the Democrats are like, impossible. Can't happen. Then the election comes. And they were like, we wouldn't trust it anyways. Trump's going to rush it. Election comes. Biden wins. Oh, never mind. Within within a week or two after the election, Pfizer came out and was like, by the way, we're finishing up our trials for the vaccine. They'd already done round one of the trials, but they didn't announce it until after the election. That's always the case. Whatever, Trump's a threat to democracy, so we can't let people hear the truth until after the election. Because to them, Mike Benz talks about this. When they say democracy, they don't mean the will of the people, the voice of the people being heard. That's not what they mean by democracy. What they mean by democracy is the institutions' voices are heard. That's what they mean. Democracy is them controlling things. So when you hear them say, well, it's important for democracy, they don't give it, you're not included in that. The average Democrat voter, not included in that.